Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are watching episodes 343 and 344 of Bleach. I'm back with two episodes again and a new arc, the last kind of arc for right now of Bleach, and I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure what I'm about to get into because, one, you guys have told me it's a little bit different than the stuff that has come before. It's a little more character based and doesn't have quite as much of a lean into the action and stuff, which I totally understand because we left off the last episode with Ichigo losing all of his spiritual pressure. Like, he just isn't a soul reaper anymore and he can't, sense spirits or anything. And that means that yeah, there'd be less action because he's just like a high school student now. He's just like a normal teenager. I think we're doing a bit of a time skip because he was 15 before, and then in the little end part of the last episode, we had Yuzu talking about how it was Ichigo's final year of high school, so he would have to be at least 17. 17? 18? How old was I in high school? I don't even remember. It was too long ago. So I'm assuming that we're kind of skipping over part of the story a little bit, going into when he's a little bit older, or he's just been aging throughout the course of the show and I didn't pay attention because time is weird in anime, so I just assumed he was still the same age as he was at the beginning, but I could be completely wrong. So I am looking forward to getting back into kind of some of the stuff that we had in the first season of the show, figuring out what Ichigo is like when he's just a teenager, but he still remembers everything that happened. He still has friends that are still have spiritual pressure and abilities and stuff like that. Ishida's still a Quincy, that's still a thing that's going on. So I'm assuming he's gonna have a hard time adjusting to that because, like I said before, Ichigo's always been the kind of person to jump in to protect somebody. It was originally a lot of his protection towards spirits and stuff like that that were just around that he noticed, but since he doesn't have that anymore, I don't know kind of where he's gonna put that energy because he's gonna know that some of the stuff's going on just because he knows what the world is like. He knows that hollows exist or are around, and he has friends that are probably going to go out and try to fight that kind of stuff. So I don't know how well he'll adjust. I don't know what his plan is gonna be. I really don't know what the season is gonna entail, but I'm very excited to get into this part of the arc, and let's just get into episode 343. In 3, 2, 1, go. I really don't know what I'm about to get into. Oh, it's the cherry blossoms. So we had winter before with the ice skating and stuff. And it's the end of the school year. We're going into the new school year, so it's spring. Okay, yeah, see, I said 17 before. I totally know how old I was in high school. I also like the character breakdown thing that is from the first episode. Aw, occupation. High school student. And only that. Unless, of course, we're parallel. Oh, no, he can't see ghosts. I'm a little heartbroken about it, honestly. Oh, it was his internal world. But he doesn't have it anymore. I feel like I'm gonna be sad for most of this. Look at Kedin! A little ponytail. Represent. Everybody's looking different. But personality seems to be pretty much the same. Ooh. Ooh. New characters? I feel like it's been a while since we've had a bunch of new characters because it was Scandal. Scandal too. Um because we've been dealing with just Visored and Spot. Is that Ganju? My brain's like getting distracted. But we had like the Espada and like Arrancar and a Visor kind of set up early, and then we had a few arcs where we just like had a lot of the same characters. So it's been a while since we've had to like see a bunch of new people. How Ichigo's brain seems to have malfunctioned. Aw, she's so excited. Acknowledge how cute she looks. Say she looks nice. Just putting up with ghosts like usual. It's good to see that Ishin is still chaotic. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, Justin okay? So everyone knows that they're gone. I guess because all his friends like found out like just in time for him to lose them. I mean, some of them knew before whether or not Ichigo is willing to accept that he is awful at keeping that from his friends. Like he's like, how could you have possibly known? And I'm like, well, you weren't super subtle about it. Well, he has longer hair too. How come Ichigo looks the same then? Everyone else has like different hairstyles and like looking grown up. And then Ichigo looks exactly the same. Yep, didn't yeah, like didn't Kitten like hate being able to see ghosts and she just like denied it? She's like, I'm totally normal, I don't know what you're talking about. Like his greeting is a headlock. Friendship. Yeah, you gotta let him go if he taps out. I like being able to see Tatsuki again. They still carry that around? Was that was that some of the Soul Reapers on the cover of that game? I could have sort of saw Hanataro. See, that's what I was saying. I'm like, he still probably knows that there's stuff going on because he has friends that still deal with hollows and stuff. Don't make me cry again, I swear. How would you know? I mean, I guess someone could tell him. But what if she just like doesn't want him to know that she's been around? I guess he is trying to play catch up, isn't he? True, she might be busy. But I also think like it's probably hard to see Ichigo and have him not be able to acknowledge that she's there. Like it's kind of like what Orihime went through, you know, when she was leaving to Huecomundo and she could like see all of her friends, but none of them could see her. I mean, obviously some of them could see Rukia, but be careful what you wish for. You know, you wanted to be normal and now you have it, but you already know what it's like to like be on the other side of it. Is he gonna help out anyway? See, that's what I was saying. I'm like, Ichigo just helps out people anyway. Ooh, well, don't get hurt though. I still worry. Probably a good idea. He does consistently get into trouble, so probably best if nobody starts keeping a score. That's ominous. Definitely ominous. Someone who has one of those badge things for Soul Society too? Why are you trying to find Ichigo? Ooh, surprise attack. You'll be fine. I like how Ichigo also has like no time for Ishin's like ridiculous energy. Ugh, I hate when that happens when you're trying to, like, you have all the emotions from a dream, but you can't remember what the dream is about. Are people trying to get him to join their club? Renting himself to the basketball team. Uh, I love how he's always just like nonchalantly like savage. True. I don't see Ishin giving him money. The soccer team one as a goalkeeper. Oh, good for her, being an instructor. Yeah, like, wasn't she better at it than Ichigo? Like, significantly? Hime? Just like in her own world, humming. Girl, be careful. I like how like this has turned into them fighting each other, and then Hime's just like, "No, hang on." What's happening? I don't know what is happening. I don't know if it's important enough for me to understand though. Does Ichigo have a job that he should be at? Who is your boss? Well, you gotta go to work. Just say it. Either quit or go to work. I'm just saying. Is it just like, fine, fire me? Oh, is that why? Does his boss need him for some specific reason? Jobs? Power move though to hang up on her boss. Hello? Is it because you punched that guy the other day who was stealing a purse? Yeah. So you saw that someone you know got seven of their teeth broken, and you're like, I'm gonna pick a fight with the person who did that. I just see a break in logic there. I don't think Ichigo cares about whether or not someone's seen his face. Ishida? Are you picking fights now? I don't think Ishida's very intimidating. With the like nice outfit and the glasses. He is once he starts fighting though. Ishida, since when do you get into fights with ruffians? Yes, who are you? Because you seem not nice. See, the thing is, he reminds me of Ganju, but he's not nice. And I'm like, if it was Ganju, wouldn't Ichigo recognize him? I'm just saying. Wasn't that the symbol, like on the card, the symbol is the same as the necklace he's wearing? This has like some like old school gang energy. Wasn't he already a substitute Soul Reaper? Now I'm just confused. I don't know what this new group of adversaries deal is, but I need them to not pick a fight with Ichigo. He's going through some things. Oh my gosh, it's the other mod souls that we just forgot existed. See, because they had the one guy had the badge thing too, which makes me think that he has some kind of connection with Soul Society. Because that's how you get those. It's like someone gives it to you, so you have like it like marks you as substitute Soul Reaper. It's a very melancholy ending. What? Why are we? Why do we have a photo of Ishin? Is it the journey? Okay. So on clear examination, this new character does look different from Ganju, but like similar hairstyle, so that at least I have that. But clearly a different person. Hopefully, unless Ganju was like taking a whole 180 on his like personality. But I feel like a lot of things were being set up in that episode, obviously, because it's like beginning a new phase in Ichiko's life and a lot of the other characters. And it was like it's obviously setting up these adversaries, which seem to be this group of malicious people of some kind that have like a bar that they're like meeting in. It's all very ominous. They seem to know a lot more about Ichigo than people just kind of passing by. They seem to have like a very focused interest in him and him being a substitute Soul Reaper again. I don't really know what the motivation fully is yet, which is fair. We've only seen one episode, but it looks like they are testing out Ichigo, seeing if his abilities are there, if he has the like skill to be whatever they need him to be. I really don't know, so I'm not going to touch too much on that. But we also, of course, have Ichigo's story being set up, his kind of personal story. He's had some time to kind of adjust to his new way of life, but he doesn't seem to be particularly overjoyed about it. He was talking about how before he would have given anything to like not be able to see ghosts and be like a normal person, and now that he knows what it's like to be a Soul Reaper and to go through all of this stuff, he misses it. It's hard to step away from something when it makes up such a big part of like who you are and what your life is. And in Ichigo's case, I think he legitimately enjoyed a lot of it. I mean, obviously there were like awful things that also happened and sadness that came along with being a Soul Reaper, but ultimately it was something that he enjoyed doing. He enjoyed being able to protect people and to get involved. And like he said before, he didn't have any interest in like using his ability before to like see ghosts to help people or to do anything that like impacted other people's lives. He just kind of went about his own life and did whatever he felt like in the moment. He was a little more impulsive, and then he really got to a point where he basically got to the point where a huge motivation of his life was to protect people. And so moving on from that is hard for him, especially since, like I said, like he can see like Ishida running off. He knows that his other friends are involved with these different kinds of things. And even just like the Soul Reapers that he met, the captains, the lieutenants, all these people that he knows, like he knows they're out there doing stuff and he just can't help them in any way and he can't be a part of it. So I feel like that is definitely something that while he's had time to like adjust and move on with his life, he just hasn't, and he doesn't know what to do like when he graduates from school. I mean, I don't know if anybody fully understands what they're going to do after they graduate from school, but him definitely not really knowing what direction his life is going to have. He's like, okay, I'll go back to school. I'll be like a normal student. That'll be what I do. And even like when he wasn't doing like Soul Reaper things, like that's what he did. He went back to school and he did the normal teenager high school student thing. And now he's being faced with, well, you're not going to have that either. So what are you gonna do? And like, how do you figure out who you are when like two of the key pillars of like your life are just like gone and there's nothing you can do about it? Like, you just can't go back. So I think it'll definitely be interesting to see what Ichigo's personal journey develops in. And I worry that if nothing else, this new group of adversaries are going to take advantage of the fact that Ichigo is missing being a Soul Reaper. I feel like they are going to use that to their advantage because he might be a little bit desperate to have that part of his life back, even like just a little part of it. So I do worry that he might fall for any kind of like trickery or like, you know, offers that are too good to be true because he really wants to get back to that place where he felt like he had that power. But let's just get into episode 344 and see if we can get any more clues about that whole group and what's going on. In 3, 2, 1, go. Starting with the actual opener. We haven't done that in forever because they always had the clips where it was like little clips of what was coming up in the episode. Even this like opener gives the vibe of like a more relaxed season or like arc than the previous stuff because it's like it's literally just Ichigo like living his normal life. Like he's just like with his family and like going to school. It's not like full of, I don't know, fights and stuff like that. One thing I do wonder though is if this group of new characters is going to be truly adversaries, like I said before, or if they're going to be friends. Because Vizard was kind of introduced in a bit of an adversary kind of way. Like Shinji definitely had some like suspicious behavior when we first met him, but like now it's Vizard, like they're just great characters that occasionally help out Ichigo. So I wonder if it's actually going to be like the villains of this arc, or if they're just gonna be like new friends to make. I do like that Ishida just like rolls up and beats them up because he's like, obviously you guys are here to see Ichigo. Oof. I also like that he's a little offended that they thought maybe he was Ichigo. Are we actually gonna see the fight? Yeah, it was like there's no way Ichigo just like lets it happen without getting involved. A poor guy though, honestly, because like he was probably just like hired to do that by whoever the guy with the necklace is. I like the difference in their fighting that you can clearly see there too. Like Ichigo makes a full fist, whereas like Ishida uses the like heel of his hand instead. The difference in fighting style and training. I love that they're having like a full-on conversation while fighting. So Urahara got a pass on the whole being hunted by the Soul Society thing. Who? Probably not. Hello? Is that yeah, I was gonna like, is that his boss? Like it sounds like her from the phone call. She seems a little scary. Though I guess you would have to be able to put up with Ichigo as an employee. I'm assuming that's a play on words that I don't understand because I don't speak enough Japanese. I don't like the ominous music around her too. Just full 180 in the personality. Hello? Necklace guy? See the ominous backlighting and everything. Did she bring food? It's like the most ominous you want ramen I've ever seen. I mean, only by his boss. That's fair enough. Ichigo does attract weird people. I like that her pins are like on her collar. Did you lie? Well, that's ominous too. Hello, person spying on Ishida without him noticing? I mean, that's pretty talented too. For Ishida not to be able to sense that there was somebody there. Ichigo, try to be nice. Patient. That's true. You gotta eat it before they get mushy. Otherwise, it's not the same. I do like that they're both suspicious though. Mm-hmm. Just happened. Coincidence? Is that what we're saying? Also a good point. Uh, why do you have a picture of Ishida? I mean, Ishin? And he's gotta know that, like, Ishin is, uh, Ichigo's dad. So Jinta's still a little intense, even though he's a couple years older. Ooh, still being put in his place though. Aw, she's still adorable. Is she seeing Urahara more often now that she's got all of the spiritual pressure to deal with? Yeah, I'm like, there's no way that you'd be like, I would have never guessed when they have like the same family name. Like, I am curious to know if they've had a full conversation about Ishin being a Soul Reaper. Also a good point. Do you know about his family? Is it about Kitten? Oh, is she trying to keep away spirits? It contains vitamin C. Hiding your eyes when you say that again, though. Is she deciding not to be a Soul Reaper? Did she get offered to become one? Aw. She did kind of have that role, though. Like, if Ichigo wasn't around, Keten was usually the one that, like, took care of, like, Yuzu. I mean, there are some things that are suspicious about Urahara, but he's probably one of the more, like, the nicer Soul Reapers around. You probably shouldn't trust him. See, this is what I was worried about before. I'm like, I'm worried that they're gonna play with Ichigo's like emotions and like his weak points. I thought it would be the fact that he wants to be a Soul Reaper, but it seems to be more like the fact that there's stuff about his family and his friends that he's like not a part of anymore now that he isn't a Soul Reaper. See, like, there's probably stuff that like Ishin's doing because he has Soul Reaper abilities that Ichigo's just not a part of, or you know Urahara's life that he's just not a part of anymore. It is a lot. She trying to cheer him up with food. Does she work in a bakery? That's so cute. Isn't she like has weird food taste though? So I don't know how she got hired to make food. You gotta talk about it. Well, you're just gonna get crumbs everywhere. At least like a napkin or something. Oh, I like that they're all worried about him though. So he made his presence known this time. Okay, but Ishida, just be careful. I worry. I mean, especially in this instance where like he's clearly trying to lead you somewhere. Good questions. I would like to know what the green stuff is. Uh-oh. No, I need you to tell me that he's okay. That's also ominous. Oh no. No. Okay, but how come this episode also has made me cry? I need a break. I need a proper break from this show making me tear up. I really need Ishida to be okay though. Oh, my heart rate is like really high now. I'm like really stressed. I mean, I guess I should have seen something like that coming with a name like Execution, which is very like ominous in and of itself. I keep hitting my mic, I'm sorry. Oh, hang on. It'll be fine. I just has any of them ever been like rushed to the hospital? Usually they're not alone when they get hurt. I feel like this is just gonna make Ichigo like more worried and upset that he doesn't have his powers. I need you to not target the other characters either. Ichigo in a suit? Absolute madness. Poor kitten. Madness everywhere she goes. Can't even escape it at home. So, we're 2 episodes in, and I'm already very stressed about the safety and well being of the characters. So there's that. It kind of fits into what I was saying before about how I was worried that these new characters were going to take advantage of the fact that Ichigo is very desperate to get his Soul Reaper powers back. And like at the moment, he doesn't seem like super desperate about it. I feel like if the opportunity presented itself and there wasn't like a ton of risk to it, he would probably do it. Like he would probably actually want to get his spiritual pressure back. But I feel like by taking away his confidence in like his family, which is like a way of like him grounding himself and knowing what he's fighting for, what he's protecting, what he needs to be there for, and then attacking his friends is going to just push him farther and farther into being desperate because, like he said, if he had his spiritual pressure, he could just track his dad and find out. If he was still part of kind of the Soul Reaper world, he would probably be interacting with Urahara and he would have known what was going on with Keren. If he was still a Soul Reaper, maybe he could have saved Ishida, you know, and I feel like all of these things are going to add up to the point where Ichigo is going to do whatever it takes to get some kind of power back so that he can help protect the people that matter to him and to like be part of that world again. Like I was saying, like he feels a disconnect because there's like people in his life that are still part of Soul Society, still part of being a Soul Reaper, still part of like having spiritual abilities that he's just not part of anymore because he doesn't share in it. So he doesn't go out and hunt hollows. He doesn't know what's happening with the Soul Society. He doesn't, you know, get calls from Urahara because there's stuff going on and helping Ishida and stuff like that. So he's very disconnected from all of that. And, you know, people who are isolated and put under a lot of stress tend to make desperate decisions. So I'm very worried about what kind of stuff is going to happen to Ichigo. And I'm just like in denial that anything awful could actually happen to Ishida because I refuse to be upset by thinking that maybe something actually awful happened to him. I don't want to do it. I almost cried at the thought that something sort of happened to him. So I'm just putting it out of my brain and hopefully not going to stress about it too much until I get to watch the next episode. Maybe they'll even replay it at the beginning of the episode because they love to pick the most stressful thing and make me live through it again. I'm not sure though if the guy with the book who attacked Ishida was actually part of the group of Ginjo and like the rest because I don't think he was because there was the gamer, the bartender, and then the woman. And the girl with the pigtails. And then Ginjo. And then there's this guy with the book who might be part of something different. So that goes into my idea that like maybe Ginjo like isn't exactly an adversary, isn't exactly a bad guy in this context, kind of like how we met Shinji. But whoever this book guy is obviously is not very nice in some ways because he attacked Ishida and I cannot forgive anybody for doing that. I hold grudges. So I think that there might be two different groups. I know that some of the characters in the opener we haven't met yet, so I think maybe the guy with the book is one of them. There's a couple of other characters that are in the opener that we haven't met yet, so it might be that there's like a group that's connected to the Soul Society because we saw Ginjo with the like badge pass thing that Ichigo has that he got from Ukitake. So I'm assuming that there is some kind of connection with Soul Society with him. Maybe he's from like farther back in Soul Society's history. He seems to know some stuff about Ishin, so maybe they were both in Soul Society at the same time or worked together in some capacity. I don't know. And then it looks like we have this other group that is the adversary in some way. So I'm really not sure how I feel about this arc yet because I went from like it's kind of chill and you know has kind of this melancholy feeling like in the first episode, and then this one's just like stressful to me and there's too much unknown. But maybe it'll be less stressful than the last arc. I don't know though. I feel like a more character driven story will be like more stressful for me than just something that's like a bunch of action. But I don't know. I have the sneaking suspicion that I might cry quite a bit during this arc, which is not what I expected, but here we are. you can click this place to go see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you miss the next time I post a Bleach video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!